Yeah, I feel like you've sort of mentioned after the last few games around you don't feel like the team sort of able to handle the expectation. As sort of the coach, like how have you sort of addressed that this week? Is that what can you sort of work on to improve that?
Yeah, well, the first thing is I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm still a coach. I still try to mentor the players the best I can. We went through some presentations this week with the players of how to handle it. I think this season, I think every time the team is expected to do well or win, especially teams below us, I think we've struggled in the sense that it's not that we played some bad football. I think we still play some good football, and we've taken the lead, and then we've allowed the opponent to come back into the game. So that's something that we definitely need to rectify, fix. Like this game.
Sorry, that's me.
Yeah, sorry, bud. You
That
muted
was
me.
me, mate.
It's all right. So for us, it's very important against the team that we're playing below us on the table at the moment is to, I think it's just the mentality and just to understand that we need to go and play our game regardless of the opposition. So it's another challenge in front of us, another challenge for the boys this Friday evening against Western United. So like I said, the main thing is we go out there with the mentality to try to win the game, and if we do play well and we do go up, it's how we dominate the game with the ball and not allow the opponent to come back into the game. I think we've dropped 20 points this season so far from a leading position. So it's the back end of the season. I still believe we are a top 4 team. I think we've got the talent to do that and the qualities to do that. So it's just we got to do it on game day.
Yeah, and obviously like the two penalty that you had saved was had a big bearing on the result. Is that something that you then work on during the week, penalties, or is that something that's not big enough to focus on it?
No, we do. The players that tend to take the penalties in the game will always work after training, whether they work on set pieces, free kicks, or even penalties. And players pick their spots and hopefully they hit it well. But also, it's just we do analysis and we look at the opposition goalkeepers' behaviours and do they like to tend to dive to the right, or do they stand and wait, or do they gamble and go early? And this information is provided to the players, and then hopefully they make the best decision on game day of where to hit the ball. So it's one of those things where I think missing 2 penalties in a game obviously kills us because I think if we go up 2-0 against MacArthur, I think we're quite comfortable and I believe then the 3 points will be ours. But not scoring those allows them to come back into the game. And look, we can see 2 goals where you look and you go, well, the opponents didn't play straight through us. It was one of those those moments where the second one is a shot, deflects, and falls in front of them. We react too slow and they score the second. So even the first one, we have the ball, we turn it over. And we concede a goal. So, if the opponent was dominating the game and playing better than us, I'll accept that. But I don't think that's happening at this stage.
And how do you manage it too? It seems like when a player has missed a penalty, they've sort of relinquished taking them and it's gone to someone else. I don't know if we're going to see a 5th player take them if you get another one. But is that just how the team goes that, a player has sort of lost their confidence because they've missed? Like, do you back, someone like Oscar who's scored a lot of goals? Do you say to him, like, if there is another penalty, like, you should still take it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, look, that's in the past. They learn from it at the end of the day. For me, Oscar's our top goal scorer at the moment. And for me, I'd like him to step back up. And if there's an opportunity that we could get another penalty in the game, that he steps up and takes it.
Yeah. You didn't want him to do that on the weekend?
I think that was a decision made on the park at that time. Jan came over to me and asked me, he goes, I want to take it. Can I take it? And I said, go for your life, mate. So he was the one that was feeling brave and bold to step up and take it. Look, I still think he hit it well, and I think it was a good save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, because how costly is it to have missed, you haven't scored a single penalty, you've had 4.
It's very costly. It's very costly, Phil, at the moment. Like I said, we've dropped 20 points this season from a leading spot. So if we had half of those points currently, we'd be sitting on 31 points. So we'd be sitting a lot further up the table. So, but look, that's in the past. That's something that we need to learn from, and that's something that we definitely need to improve on and make sure it doesn't happen in these next games.
And how's Nico been since he's come into the team, and what was the reason he didn't get on the field on the weekend?
We were trailing the game, so it was more so try to bring on attacking players to influence the game. So Nico's been going well. I think he's adapted to the group quite well. I think he's getting along with Oscar quite well. I think they have a mutual friend, so I think they're getting along quite well. He's fitted right in with the boys, so we'll see how we go and how we use him.
Yeah, because is he someone who's come in as more of a, as cover, or is there a period where you do want to start bringing him into the starting team?
Yeah, look, it's a hard one to say. I feel we never guarantee anyone playing time when we sign a player. They need to earn their spot within the team. He's only been with us for a short time, so I think him getting to know the boys, understanding what we want, and for us, it was more important that we brought in an experienced player to give us that depth as well within that position. I think that helps the team. So look, there's a lot more games to go, and we'll see how we utilise him.
And any injury concerns heading into Friday?
No, we've got the squad that travelled for the MacArthur game here. So at the moment, everyone's training. The only ones that aren't available are the ones back in New Zealand.
And I guess we're past halfway point in the season. There's players that are coming off contract. It was kind of said that Callum Elliott's been playing well. It was sort of said from one of the social media account that he's got a bit of interest in Scotland. I don't know how accurate that is, but at what point do you start looking at securing guys beyond the season, and how does that sort of work too? Like when you're off contract yourself.
But that has already started with the club. It's not something that we do towards the back end of the season. Those discussions are already happening in the background with obviously the club and the players. So there's a few. Obviously, there's been a few contracts that have been offered to some players, and a few discussions have been had with other players. So you can't start doing the work at the end of the season. It's too late. You've got to do these things 6 months in advance before the season ends. So those discussions are currently happening at the moment with those players that are coming off contract, and that's where it's at.
Because do the players then go, well, are you hanging around? Like, do they sort of put that back on you and want to know what you're doing before they decide?
Yeah, I think that's irrelevant at the end of the day, Phil. I think if they're happy with what's been put in front of them and they're happy with the deal that's been put in front of them, I think it's irrelevant whether I'm the coach or someone else is the coach, because at the end of the day, they got to be happy with the deal that's been put there, and at the end of the day, they make the best decision what they feel is for them.
How do you feel Ollie's been going in goal this season?
Yeah, Ollie's had some good moments, and obviously he's been a little bit up and down, a little bit inconsistent at this stage. But look, he's still a great goalkeeper. For me, the hardest part for a goalkeeper is when you tend to make a mistake. It tends to be a goal. So that's one of those things. And look, this is his, I'd say, second season. I won't count the season where he started to break into the team, where he's getting consecutive games, and he's. If you look at the amount of games he played, he still hasn't played a lot of games at this level for long periods of time. So it's one of those things where sometimes you start on a high and there's going to be a few dips within your career. And for me, I think he's still a great goalkeeper. He's still very good for us. And then there's going to be moments where all players make mistakes. The only difference with a goalkeeper is it tends to be a goal, and players make 100 mistakes on the park and don't get punished for it. So that's the only way it's highlighted as a goalkeeper. But for us, it's very important, a very integral part of our team moving forward.
Yeah, because I guess the goal where it went through his hands, it was the team lost the ball playing out from the back. So how much do you sort of attribute that to his mistake, or is it a bit of a collective thing?
I never blame individuals, obviously, because I make a mistake, the next guy makes a mistake, and we can't hide behind one mistake that we make. It's going to happen within the game, and there's times where we do make mistakes, and your teammates there to back you up and clean up the mess that you've created. So it's part of the game. It happens. Like I said, it was close. It was a close range shot along the ground that he had to deal with, and it happens. And sometimes you're not able to hold onto the ball, and it goes to the back of the net. So it's one of those things that we learn from. Recognise the moments when we can play out, and recognise the moments when we need to keep it simple and maybe skip a line. So that's the way we look at it.
Yeah, because he's obviously still a key player and a leader in the team. You're not tempted to make a change in goal?
No, I believe you guys know me, Phil, quite well. I believe in consistency. I think with the squad, and I think when we do have consistency, I think that we get the results where players are playing with each other and having that familiarity with each other. And look, Ollie's a big piece to our puzzle of having success.
And after a couple of losses, Do you look to change the lineup at all? I mean, obviously you've made a couple of, there's been enforced changes and things like that, but ahead of Western United, you're looking to tinker at all?
Yeah, we'll probably tinker in the way that we set up. More than likely, I think we have the players that we have, Phil. We don't have a big core of players, so we have the current players that we have with us. So the reality is we might try to find solutions on how to win the game against Western United. But the players that we have, I think, again, try to keep that consistency and try to keep those players on the park and then try to get those guys to win us games.
So I recall, was it last season against Western United? Might have been when you started playing the back three. Is that what you're hinting at?
Yeah, no, that's what we did. Last season was totally different. I think we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of young players, and I think the game before we lost was it 4-0 to Central Coast. So there's something that we need to change to make sure that, because I know my team has always got goals in them. The way that we set up, we will score goals. It's just more so not conceding goals and allowing the opponents to get into the game. So last season we had to change it and for me, put the players in the best areas to get the outcome that we wanted.
Yeah. So is that what you're alluding to there, a formation change?
Might be a formation change, might be a starting point change of where players start. So we'll see how we go.